So usually I don't really make videos about roster changes, but I feel like for this one, I just had to, right? Dralii going from what was the best team throughout of, RLCS 2025, they didn't win Worlds, but throughout the year, they were consistently, or the most consistently best team in the year, right? Um, Obviously, Energy took the World Championship, so absolutely fair play to Energy. They were the best at the World Championship. But throughout the year, Carmine Corp were on average the best, right? And Dralii's going from that team as the EU MVP to Falcons, who Carmine actually lost to again in the semifinals. Falcons themselves ended up losing in the final against, the aforementioned NRG. But yeah, that's definitely an exciting, but also a surprising thing to see. I mean, they're both top teams, right? Carmine Corp and Falcons. Dralii, why he wanted this change, I don't know. Maybe at some point he'll probably say why, and not in a personal way, but more so. I imagine it's going to be more of a wanting a difference of structure or personalities, or just wanting something new in general. I imagine, but this could potentially make EU not the top region anymore. It's gonna be, and if they are, it'll be like, very, very, very tight, right? And Karmic Corp for the replacement of Dralii will be going for Juicy, who many people would say is probably a fair bit worse than Dralii, right? Not the most exciting prospect, and if you're a Karmic Corp fan, this does make you a little bit worried. Not that they won't be the best team in EU for the next season, but you definitely can imagine them struggling a lot more than what they did last season, right? That they could definitely live up to last season's expectations again in terms of Europe, but on lands, I definitely don't see them winning 2 lands with Juicy. But yeah, we'll have to see. Of course, I should probably preface. Dralii joined to replace TRK. So the twins are still sticking together. Not too surprising because, that's been their whole shtick, hasn't it? And then even more drama has come in. I say drama, this is not really drama, but just roster moves. This one is a rumor, though. Basically talking about how First Killer could be going over to EU, and more specifically, Vitality, which should be interesting. Zen, Exotic, and First Killer. That would definitely be an interesting team to watch. And this is, I guess, something to be worried about if you're an NA fan, in a sense of like, the teams coming out of NA should be worse. Excluding NRG, of course. I think they're expected to stay. They won the World Championship and they've stayed together for quite a while. So you expect them to, to stick together. And yeah, that should be really, really interesting. First Killer was an absolute top player, had a really top performance at the World Championship, and yeah, definitely could win in Europe and in the world with Europeans as well. So definitely kind of a what if scenario that we haven't seen thus far, and should be really, really exciting to see how this turns out. And if First Killer let's say he does go to Vitality and then fails to make grand finals and that kind of stuff with Zen and Exotic, that's probably when you decide, okay, maybe First Killer has been a little bit overrated. And at times he has been overrated, but a lot of times, more often than not, I'd probably say he's been underrated. Even making our top lists of like top 20 players of 2023 or whatever years it was. When his results went down, a lot of people just completely put him off the list. But for me, he was still on there. He's been underrated for a while. And yeah, last year he proved a lot of people wrong, including kind of myself specifically. I wasn't the biggest fan. I say last year, I meant this year, from this year's RCS that just ended. He proved a lot of people wrong, including myself. I did not have the highest expectations of Ultimates. And yeah, they definitely did pretty well. And First Killer was the main guy on that team. So you do question if the best player on that team then joins an EU team. What does that mean? What's that? What's the result going to be? Because many people are thinking they have like a major championship that they should be aiming for, right? So yeah, Worlds or EWC or a major is kind of, if they end up together. Early prediction, I'm gonna say they win one of them. Maybe more, who knows? But yeah, this is kind of what I had to talk about. Dralii going, being the EU MVP and then being the best team for basically a year straight, except for, the Rally Major and Worlds. But other than that, they were the best team. And he thrived under the environment. And he says, no, I'm going to try something else. I'm going over to MENA. So the best European player, maybe that's Zen, but it's between them two, right? So let's say joint best player for political sake. And he goes over to MENA. So definitely a huge blow for EU, right? Who, maybe MENA is the new biggest region for next season. Maybe NA continues to thrive. I don't expect so, because NA weren't doing too well last year, or this year. I say last year again. This season that just ended, until the World Championship, right? So yeah, should be definitely exciting. Should be a huge battle between the regions next year, more so than ever. Maybe you look back at the original season 1 when the regions were really tight, but other than that, who knows? And I say that actually, EU were expected to win season 1 anyways, but I guess that's a bit of that's a debate for another time. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. And let me know what your thoughts about the whole situation. What do you think Falcons will do next year with Dralii on their roster, Carmine Corp, Juicy, and what if First Killer then joins Vitality? So let me know, like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.